Hey there, and welcome to this week's Sunday Musings, where every week I spend a little time and talk about something that's been on my mind. I also write a weekly blog where I talk in parallel and complementary to this. Always has additional information, and I look forward to you reading that as well. You can find the link on Medium right here. I would love to have a conversation with you. I think it would be amazing to get to know you and hear some of your thoughts. So reach out, send me a message on one of my postings, or if you wait till the end of the video, there will be a link to my calendar and you can schedule a time to talk. This week is another book review, and I want to talk about a great book that I was introduced to by my manager not too long ago, called The Five Dysfunctions of a Team. It's by Patrick Lencioni, and it's a really amazing book. It is easy to read. Like all of his books, the first half of it or so is a fable, telling a story about an industry and a team and a specific example that illustrates something that's broken and the steps that were taken to making it better. The models in here are nothing specific or nothing special. They're absolutely common sense. And I think those are some of my favorite types of books where common sense is used to help you form better habits and dig yourself out of a hole. If you have to learn something fancy schmancy, it's really hard to enforce it. But if you can leverage things that make sense, that are common sense, it's a whole lot easier. So within the book, they talk about the 5 dysfunctions, and I really encourage you to read it. The first dysfunction is the foundation, and it's about an inherent absence of trust in teams that are broken. Teams that are effective, that work well together, have trust for each other and of each other. That doesn't mean that you're best friends and you go sing and dance and kumbaya and all of that. But what it means is that you have trust from each other and are able to trust that people will do what they say they're going to do and will back you up and will be there and be present and give themselves. The second problem with people who are not effective teams is that there's a fear of conflict. Now that sounds like it doesn't make sense. Why would you want people in a team that are not afraid of that are good with conflict? Well, I think that healthy debate and being able to dissent from the opinion of your other teammates in an appropriate way can lead to a very good communication that can sometimes uncover underlying problems that you weren't expecting or new paths to solutions that were completely different from what anybody in the team had originally envisioned. So being safe and comfortable saying that you don't agree and being able to articulate that in a logical and practical way builds better communication and can facilitate and foster creativity and innovative solutions. The third problem with teams that are not effective is a lack of commitment. That means if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. That does not mean that your company or your team or your job is an end-all be-all and that's all you do all the time. It can't be. We need balance in our lives, but it does mean when you say you will do something, that you will do it. And it means if you can't do it, you will own up and let people know as soon as you know, so that things can be managed. Your team can have your back, and you can make sure that things are working well. If there's an avoidance of accountability, that is another indication of a team that's in trouble. If things happen, everyone involved must not only be accountable to the team, but to themselves. You must take accountability for those things where you mess up. And finally, the last thing that can happen with teams that are not effective is that they don't pay attention to the results. They don't have a guiding star, a common idea of where they want to be, where their goals are. Results must define every team. Every team must have a guiding light, a shining star, a north star to head towards. That doesn't mean the team may not deviate, may not take a left turn to a right turn to get to that north star. But if you are not paying attention to the results and you don't have a path forward, then your team does not have a commonality to move with. And one person might go left, one person might go right. But if the direction is clearly forward, everybody can move in that direction together. And you can make sure that your activities are harmonized. So those are my thoughts on this book. I think it's great. I have enjoyed every book I've ever read within this series of fables, and I encourage you to check them out. I would love to hear your thoughts on this book, or if there's any other books that you think are quite amazing. I'd love to hear them and recommendations for future review. And otherwise, take care, stay safe, and until next week, we'll see you soon.